Good morning, students. I welcome you all for the online class of economics. As in the last class, we were learning the topic demand curve. As I left the topic with the explanation of the topic, that was demand curve. Before that, we were learning the individual market demand and individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. See here, students, one reason was there behind to leave the topic, because together if we will be going to learn so many topics, it will be a confusion for the next classes. So let us start the graphical presentation of demand schedules in this class. For that, we will be seeing the demand curve, meaning again it is simply a graphical presentation of demand schedule showing how quantity demanded of a commodity is related to its own price. Like demand schedule, concept of demand curve includes individual demand curve and market demand curve. Individual demand curve. Individual demand curve is a curve showing different quantities of a commodity that one particular buyer is ready to buy at different possible prices of the commodity at a particular point of time. Figure 1 shows individual demand curve. In this diagram, quantity of the commodity is shown on x-axis and price on y-axis. DD is the demand curve. It is a graphical presentation of individual demand schedule as in number table number 1. You can see there. So I think meaning is clear. If not, then once again I repeat, it is a curve, graphical presentation of different quantities of a commodity purchased by a single buyer related to the price of the commodity. That is known as individual demand curve. Let us see very simple tabular data. See here, students, one thing I want to clear you. You will be learning very simple graph that will be easy to form at home. Here we will not be having such a complicated graph what we were learning in the 9th and 10th standard of mathematics or economics. So here we will be seeing, first of all, in the paper we will draw two axes, that is y-axis and x-axis. I think you know how to draw the axis. So in the y-axis we will be showing the price, and the x-axis we will be showing the quantity. Px, what we have learned, there was the simple units 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And here we will be quantity demanded was also very simple 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now let us see how the table is there, how we will be drawing there. We will start, I will remind you there, when the price of the goods was 1, the quantity demanded by single consumer price, we will be focusing on price. Here it is the price 0 to 1. As the price was 0 to 1, 1 was the price, quantity demanded of the consumers was 4 units. So you have seen first in your paper, in your copy, after drawing y-axis and x-axis, you will be drawing, you will be naming the points 1, 2, 3, 4 and equal units you take both the side. And after that, one side, as I seen in your table, here px and qx is there. Px price and qx quantity. So I started from where? I started from this side. That is price. Price was 1 rupee and quantity demanded was 4. So here we will connect this to price and quantity, and you will get a line of insertion. That is, here you are getting point, any dot you are getting. So here the dot what you are getting, here we will be connecting. You will dark it the point. I am saying this point. Okay. Now we will be proceeding there. Now when the price has been increased from 1 to 2, we have seen the price was increasing 1 to 2. When the price was 2, the quantity demanded was gone to 4 from 3. It was reduced. So here we will connect again 2 price to 3. So what we will be getting there, here one more dot you will be getting. You are getting this dot, you will connect it and you will keep it. Okay. Next we will be going further like that. When the price was 3, the quantity demand will become 2. When the price gone up more 4 units, then quantity demanded was 1. Now you what the dot you got here, what were connectivity between price and quantity you got here. This connectivity you will join and you will draw a line, that is the point number D, and this is the demand. This is the demand curve. What demand curve you got? A straight line, not curve but a straight line you will get, and that demand curve is known as individual demand curve. Okay, so this is the demand curve, slope downward. It shows inverse relation between price and quantity demanded. Thus 4 units of the commodity are demanded when price is rupees 1 per unit, while only 1 unit is demanded when the price is rupees 4 per unit. So demand curve slopes downward from left to right, indicating inverse relationship between own price of the commodity and its quantity demanded. Why it is inverse relationship? As the price is increasing, quantity demanded is going back, it is going down. So there is no positive relation, there is always inverse relation between price and quantity demanded. Same way, when the price goes down, quantity demanded increases. As the price goes, it is a common thinking of the people. When the price becomes low, people started demanding more, and when the price goes up, people started demanding less. So that is the inverse relation between price and quantity demanded. Now we will see the another curve, that is market demand curve. Market demand curve is the horizontal summation of the individual demand curve. It shows various quantities of a commodity that all the buyers in the market are ready to buy at different possible prices of the commodity at a point of time. So that is known as market demand curve. Figure 2 shows market demand curve. It is a graphic presentation of market demand schedule X, table 2. So here figure 2 you can see A's demand curve, B's demand curve and the market demand curve. Separately you have seen. And here A's demand curve is individual, B's demand curve is an individual demand schedule, and this actually market demand schedule is this one. Where we are taking together the demand of A and B and we are creating the market demand schedule. So in market demand schedule, we take the total quantity demanded of all the consumer at a certain point of price. So here we can see A particular individual and B's individual demand schedule, and together we will see here in the market demand curve. So here when the price of commodity table is the same which we have seen in the earlier theory of market demand schedule, we are taking the same demand, same tabular data. When the price of the goods was 1, when the goods market demand schedule I am explaining, not the single demand because it has already been explained. When the price of goods was 1, you can see I had plotted the demand of together A and B. What was there? 4 plus 5, it become 9. So 4 plus 5 equals to 9. How much is the quantity? See in the x-axis only the quantity is there. Here it is 9. So connect it 9 and 1. So here it is the dot we got. Keep the dot dark. Now the price increases to rupees 2. When the price was 2, quantity demanded by A was 3 units and quantity demanded by B was 4 units. So 3 plus 4, how much comes? 7. So let us have the graph 2 plus 7. So here we can see here one again dot you will get 3 plus 4 is 7 units. Same way for 3 price and at rupees 4 price we will be heading the 3 and 5. So here what is the important thing, what I want to show, how the curve has been formed. Here the dot which we had been formed according to P price and quantity where you connected, here one dot you will be getting. Here that dot itself is known as demand. When you will connect these dots, when you will connect these dots here in this line, you will be getting this demand curve. Okay, this is a straight line what you are drawing, and this is the demand curve. So that is the demand curve, students. So it was market demand curve. A and B are 2 buyers in the market. Figure 2.1 is A demand curve. Figure 2.2 is the B's demand curve. Whereas figure number 3 is the market demand curve. So it has been shown you the 3 curves. So it will be clear to you that what is individual and what is market. As our market demand curve will be bigger than individual because here it is representing all the buyers together quantity demanded according to the price. Accordingly, market demand is so and so we have already learned, nothing is for explanation. Note, Though demand and quantity demanded are two different concepts, for all practical purpose, the difference between the two is ignored. It is almost customary to write that there is an inverse relationship between price and demand. However, when demand for a commodity is related to its own price, it should always be understood as quantity demanded. Demand function or determinants of demand. Let us learn this demand function or determinants of demand. Demand function shows that relationship between demand for a commodity and its various determinants. It shows how demand for a commodity is related to, say, own price of the commodity or income of the consumer or other determinants corresponding to two aspects of demand, which individual demand and market demand. We have two types of demand function: individual demand function and market demand function. Individual demand function shows how demand for a commodity by an individual consumer in the market is related to its various determinants. It is expressed as under: dx equals to function f, px is the price of commodity x, pr is the price of related goods, y is the income, t is the taste of the people, e is the expectations. So when together these determinants we are learning, it is known as determinants of demand function. Individual demand function, we will see according to that what are the determinants. What makes a consumer to change its demand or shift its demand from one commodity to another commodity? That itself is known as determinants of demand function. We will be learning each determinants separately. Let us see in this situation own price of commodity px. We have learned this function. This itself is known as the determinants of demand function. Let us see each situation of this. When we will learn first px, then according to pr, then we will go by y, and then we will go by t and e. Each situation how the demand changes of the people, that we will be going to learn. Very first situation, own price of commodity. Other things being equal, with a rise in own price of the commodity, its demand contracts, and with a fall in price, its demands extends. This inverse relationship between own price of the commodity and its demand is called law of demand. Price of related goods. Demand for a commodity is also influenced by change in price of related goods. These are of two types: substitute goods. These are the goods which can be substituted for each other, such as tea and coffee, or ball, pen and ink pen. In case of such goods, increase in price of one causes increase in demand for other, and in decrease in the price of one causes decrease in the demand for the other. Definitely increase in the price of coffee. For example, we increase the demand for tea. The consumer will shift from the consumption of coffee to consumption of tea. Itself is known as substitute goods. See here one more example from your practical point I can take. You are using two pens, ballpoint pen and gel pen. When the price, if you are using the gel pen continuously and suddenly in the market you will be finding that gel pen price has been increased because its demand was more. So suddenly one more substitute good is there. If you are not comfortable to purchase at that certain higher cost the gel pen, you can purchase the substitute goods of it, that is the ballpoint pen. And same way, those person who are purchasing the ballpoint pen and the certain level the price will increase, they can have a substitute, that they can purchase the gel pen and other pens which are available but at a lower cost than the ballpoint pen. So that is known as substitute goods. Complementary goods. Complementary goods are those goods which complete the demand for each other and are therefore demanded together. Like for example, for pen, refill is a complementary goods. For pen, ink is a complementary goods. Bread and butters are complementary goods. When bread demand will increase, butter demand will also parallelly will be increasing. So that are the complementary goods. So here what concept we are going to learn, that complementary goods are those goods which complete the demand for each other and are therefore demanded together. Pen and ink or bread and butter may be cited as example. In case of complementary goods, a fall in the price of one causes increase in the demand of other. A rise in the price of one causes decrease in the demand of the other. For example, example, when the price of fountain pen rises, a demand will fall. As a result, demand for ink will also fall. Conversely, if the price of fountain pen falls, a demand will rise, also will rise the demand for ink. Income of the consumer. Change in the income of the consumer also influences his demand for different goods. Yes, definitely. Like for example, your parents' income increases. Definitely, then you will come to know the income of the parents increases. Each and every person wants something more in their demand. So that makes the sense when the consumer income increases or decreases. According to that income also, the demand for goods will increase or decrease. On the other hand, the demand for inferior goods like coarse grain tends to decrease with increase in income, and vice versa. Now let us see normal goods and inferior goods. What is normal goods? Normal goods are those in case of which there is a positive relation between income and quantity demanded. Other things remaining constant. Quantity demanded increases in response to increasing consumers' income and vice versa. Inferior goods are those in case of which there is negative or inverse relationship between income and quantity demanded. Other things remaining constant. Quantity demanded decreases in response to increase in income and vice versa. Briefly, in case of normal goods, income effect is positive, while in case of inferior goods, income effect is negative, because if the income increases, the demand for inferior good will not increase, it will decrease. Because people will shift the demand from inferior goods to normal goods. That is the relation between normal and inferior goods. So students, we will have a gap. In the next video, we will continue the taste and preference determinants of demand. Thank you for today's class.